One of the days,
Hello.
one of the days your neck is going to actually crack and you'll be stuck like you.
Oh, he's done it before. It fucking kills. But if I don't do it, then it hurts. So I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Well, you've been like Quasimodo for a day.
Not quite to that extent, but I have had it where like I just can't. It's like slightly tilted because I just can't straighten it because I'm in that much pain.
Well, yeah.
But if I don't crack it, then it just feels like really tense. So it somehow relieves it. I don't know.
So
Weird.
So you're saying that you have to crack one off to relieve it?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's clear.
I'm editing this one, so that's fine.
That's what I heard.
Right, let's try again. Hello and welcome to Cage Fighting. It's your main man Andy Gillard here. I hope everyone's good. I can't stop giggling because we're talking shit, but welcome to the pod.
Hi everybody, Matt Guy here. Hope everybody is doing well and well on their way with their Christmas preparations.
Jingle bell fucking rock, hello.
So yes, it's our Christmas question cast. Welcome and Merry Christmas to one and all. We'll start off like we normally do. We'll talk about the news. Recently, a few pictures have escaped of Chris Hemsworth. He's been bulking up like a motherfucker because obviously he's going to be starring as Hulk Hogan in the biopic. Needless to say, Hemsworth looks like he has got those 24-inch pythons going. It is unbelievable. Have you seen the pictures of Thor as he's working out at the moment?
I thought I saw them, but they came up as being fakes a month or two ago. So I need to see these. I'm guessing he's quite the specimen.
He certainly is. He's. He just needs to lose the hair a little bit more now, and then he'll be like prime Hogan. He looks incredible for what he's been doing. So good on him.
Wow.
It's one he's posted where he says that he's on a cheat day eating a donut and he's tossing a massive fucking
like a big tyre.
Yeah, that's the one. A massive tyre. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I really hope this film ends up being like a proper look at the character or the man behind the character of Hulk Hogan, not just a fluff piece about how he's a great wrestler, when we all know that he's not. He's actually a bit of a bastard, and I think it'd be good to actually look at that side of things, not just kiss his arse. I'm quite intrigued where they're going to go with this film.
I presume they can't go down the racist Bubba Love sex tape avenue with it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be given rights to do it. I don't know.
I wouldn't have thought so, because I'd assume in order to get the name Hulk Hogan, they would probably have to lease it from I think Hogan owns his own name. So I'm guessing he would have some say in what gets put out there.
But then again, though, he's not trying to brush it under the carpet. As he's back and he has apologised and he has said what happened. And so it might be in there. You don't know.
The problem, obviously myself and Matt, we followed WWE closer. He's never really apologised for it. He's apologised for being caught for saying it. So, yeah. But speaking of wrestlers, wrestler turned actor John Cena, he's penned a deal to turn his inspirational tweets into a book. I don't know if either of you two follow Cena on the Twitter. He basically tweets the most inane derivative shit every morning. It's almost like he should just post the picture of the kitten hanging on to the washing line. Hanging there. Yeah. Like, it's terrible, but that's been turned into a book. Undoubtedly, that will be a bestseller because it turns out that wrestling fans buy any old shit. And I say that sat here with a Tyler Bate, Trent Seven figure, there's a Bailey Bear behind me, and a WWE belt bum bag somewhere in this house. So I know what I speak of. And also, the Academy have confirmed that they will be going ahead with an in-person ceremony next year. There will be no Zoom party going on. It seems a bit pointless, to be honest. We haven't really had I know some films have been released, but most of the bigger ones, they've obviously been pushed back a year. So I'm going to be kind of interested on where they're going to go with the Academy Awards coming up. I know we're coming up to this season now where they generally put them out, but there's still nothing that seems to have been scheduled that looks like an Oscar botherer anyway at the minute. So I'm intrigued with this year's, I've got to be honest.
There's only really been one massive release, and that was what we talked about last week, and you can't imagine that being up for an Oscar of any kind.
That's it. We'll get Nicolas Cage up for Best Supporting Actor.
Jesus.
So that's the news for the week. Fan question time. Matt, what have we had in?
We've had some very Christmassy questions, which is fantastic as always. So, first one from Ash Dolan. What do you imagine the working conditions are for the elves in Santa's workshop? Do they have a contract, a wage? Is there a HR structure? And more importantly, do they have the Christmas party? And what scandalous shit must go on during the elf bonanza?
I think they're like really badly treated. I reckon Santa Claus is an absolute bastard of a boss. Like he proper cracks the whip. They have to be in bed by 8 o'clock. There's none of it. It's literally just they will work from 8 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night. That's their day. And as soon as Christmas is over, they're working on next year's. No Christmas party. They just have to get to it.
You can tell a lot about the person by the answer of this question. Because I'd imagine it's getting pissed 23 hours a day and then doing an hour's worth of work in their sleep because they're elves and they're magic. So I'd imagine it's an amazing place to be, especially as an elf.
I like to think of it, bringing it back to more of our thing, like the scene in Jingle All the Way, where it's actually in like a seedy warehouse, and you've got like big burly men Santas, and you've got little like vertically challenged Santas and elves and all sorts like that. But yeah, I can't imagine that it's the most engaged workforce in the world. Put it that way. Richard Hobbs wants to know, of Fancast fame, quite simply, what's your least favourite Christmas film? One that you hate, you might say. Stu,
Ooh.
you're the guru, the connoisseur, the aficionado.
I'm trying to think because I mean, that's a question that shouldn't exist, really. One that I hate. When there's one I mentioned a few weeks ago, the one about the that was a Home Alone ripoff. I ain't watching that again. I still don't know the name of it. But yeah, I mean, I suppose there's like ones where you'll watch once and never watch them again, like the many like the kind of the Lifetime films, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where they're very much they're Christmassy and they're throwaway, and I'll probably mention a few of them a bit later on. But I can't think of ones that's off the top of my head that I've actually hated outright.
Andy, where do you lie on the faux, like romantic films that are Christmas related? So it's not about the magic of Christmas in terms of Santa and magic, but actually pure love story set at Christmas.
That's fine with me. I've got to be honest. Like, I'm not massively Christmassy anyway. So a Christmas film needs to have enough of a story to pull you through, whether it's a rom-com or a horror or whatever it is set at Christmas. As long as the genre side of it's right, I can accept that it's just set during winter.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because David Evans of A Daft Question, in a segment that I am now calling Cage Fighting with Daft Questions, which will be the name of our collaboration when we eventually do it. He wants to know, how do you class a Christmas film? Does a film have to be set at Christmas, or does the narrative of the story have to centre on Christmas or a Christmas tradition? So, Stu, define a Christmas film for us. What's it got to have for it to be an official Christmas film?
A Christmas tree at some point. I don't think you can split it down the middle of this, because you've got the ones that are obviously Christmassy, and then you got the ones that are set at Christmas, but could be set at any time of year, which will come on my question again later on. But a Christmas film, it's got to have at least have a Christmas song in there and a bit of sleigh bells or something like that in the essence of Christmas. You can't just put a bit of snow on the ground and say, "Oh, there you go, that's Christmas," because it doesn't really count then. So things like Die Hard, obviously, it's set at a Christmas party that goes wrong by evildoers. But you got the trees, you got the music, and it's a Christmas film. So
there has to be a line though. So, if, for example, The Shining is set over winter in the snow. There's a party that goes on. I'm pretty sure it's but that's not a Christmas film. But it ticks the boxes of some of the things that you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's a case of if you say a Christmas film, you think of things like the Santa Claus and Miracle on 34th Street and things like that. If you want to film at Christmas, then the scope is much bigger. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for argument's sake, and just to please Dave, I'll just say that, yeah, okay, it's got to be set around something to do with Christmas.
What about something like, say, the Harry Potter series, or in recent years, Star Wars? They've been released at Christmas, and I do associate them with that wintry feel now.
Well, it's
You're absolutely
like
right, yeah.
Lord of the Rings as well. Lord of the Rings came out every Christmas.
Yeah, it did.
And that was a thing for them 3 years. It was me and Dean and Gold went to watch it, and then you'd wait till the year after. You get the extended DVD, watch that late November, early December, and then go and watch the next one. And we did that for 3 years, and that was superb. That was wonderful. But since watching them since, I don't class them as Christmas films anymore. So they were just part of the Christmas experience. I mean, I wouldn't say when I watch The Force Awakens, any time of year, and they're running through Jakku, it's not really got any Christmas feel to it. So yeah, I think that's another part of it, I suppose. But yeah, I don't class them as anything to do with it other than a kind of a memory than anything else.
Okay.
Fair enough. And the final question from Tom Kearney, elaborating on David's question. It's more. So this is very much down the Star Wars question that he asked about a month ago now, where he needs some vindication or an explanation to put his weary mind at ease. He says, I have been told to this very day that Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas film in the same way Die Hard is. Is this madness? I feel that anything with a tree in the background or happens to have snow is being classed as a Christmas film now. Discuss. Is Lethal Weapon a Christmas film?
Kind of is, yeah. Because if you're classing Die Hard as a Christmas film, then you have to count Lethal Weapon and you have to count a load of other things as well. Which, again, we'll come to with my question. But yeah, it's you are stretching it a little bit because it's one of them where you wouldn't automatically think of it being, oh yeah, you can watch Lethal Weapon any time of year, really. Whereas you wouldn't do the same with Die Hard. Maybe that's just a cultural thing now that it's kind of been adopted as the Christmas film to watch if you're not watching pandas and stuff.
So I haven't seen Lethal Weapon for at least 20 years. It's set in LA, isn't it? So obviously their Christmas isn't like Christmas in like 75% of the rest of the world, or it doesn't look like Christmas in the rest of the world. So I've got to admit, I don't see Lethal Weapon as a Christmas film in the same vein as Die Hard. Because Die Hard, you at least have the snow, you have that feel of it being set at Christmas. It looks like it's set at Christmas, should I say, whereas Lethal Weapon looks like it could have been set at any time of year.
Yeah, it's a bit like Christmas in Australia. You see them all in like Santa hats and bikinis on the beach every year. But there's a Netflix one like that, Holiday in the Wild, where 90% of the film's set in Africa over Christmas time.
Okay.
But that is obviously set around Christmas time, and that's the reason that she's there. And there's another one from this year as well, Holiday Christmas Drop or Christmas Holiday Drop. That's set in an Army Air Force base in the in the tropics, so not your normal Christmassy thing, but that is very much set at Christmas time, and they're distributing presents to everyone. And that is set in that climate, but yeah, that does feel like Christmas, and Lethal Weapon doesn't for the same thing.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for your questions, guys. As always, get them into us on our Twitter accounts, and we'll get them read out and answer the big questions in film for you and clear up some of these ambiguities that plague your everyday lives, such as Tom Geely's question today.
That's lovely. Thank you very much. So on to our questions. Start where we always do. What have you watched this week? Matt, what's been on your telly?
So, because obviously a lot of our time is taken up by talking about Star Wars in one capacity or another, I started playing the Fallen Order game on the Xbox because I need a break from FIFA, and it's just got me back into that Star Wars world again, really nicely. I'm really, really enjoying the game so far. And we were talking about Rogue One as well on the last episode, or the last QuestionCast episode at least. So I'm going to go back and watch those again, but really enjoying playing that at the moment. Powering through Fresh Prince because, as you mentioned to me yesterday, there's a time limit on it, which is unbelievable. And they are like dead casual and easy to watch, but I've got to have a good like 100 episodes to watch. So it's going to be a real struggle. It might be going on to the Bay Pirates before too long. And finally, I've just been catching up on some of my old favorite pay-per-views wrestling wise because I'm falling a little out of love again with wrestling. Not only like with WWE, which has been cack for a while now, but even AEW, which has been really good. I'm finding less motivation to watch it every week, and I tend to start just reading the results. And that's a shame. So I'm kind of kickstarting my my love for wrestling again by watching kind of WrestleMania 17 and watching No Way Out 2000 and some like the big hitters I used to really enjoy and watching old Royal Rumbles because we're into Royal Rumble season again. So trying to kind of reignite that that enjoyment that I had for it. I think it's difficult because of the pandemic and that in that like WrestleMania and Survivor Series, SummerSlam, I'd meet my friend Rob and we'd go and get pissed at the Royal London or the Hogshead and watch it live, and then that'd be the event, and like we'd have a bet on the Royal Rumble, like we'd have sweepstakes and stuff like that. You can't have any of that at the minute, and I think that's taken a little bit of the shine off it. Like kind of pay like I've no doubt if everything was normal, we'd have got together for an AEW pay per view and had a few beers and watched it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the
absolutely.
and that, but kind of wrestling, Star Wars has been taking over my TV.
You've had like the perfect Virgin's fucking week of TV, haven't you?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
it's great. Love it.
And now you're sitting in a garage on your own in December.
With my wife one step closer to divorcing me because I'm recording another podcast again.
I mean, the big question that people want to know is: Have you got past the frog boss yet?
Oh my lord! So I've done it today. Now, by the power of magic, this podcast isn't recorded on the Monday at 5 a.m. when it's released. But yeah, I did it today, and I've had to like skip way further into the game and come back with a vengeance to get past it. And I had to lower the difficulty, and this is what's making me worried now. Like, am I losing my grip on gaming? Is it passing me by? It's like an episode of The Simpsons when Homer tries to beat Bart at that game and has to go into training. Like to do it, and I feel like gaming's passing me by a little bit now, and I'm no longer any good at it. Whereas I used to feel like I was very good at it.
Well, no, that is the right way to do it. I was going to say that's exactly how you do it because it's a roguelike. It's a bit Metroidvania in that way, the way you have to kind of level up before you can beat certain things.
Yeah,
so it is designed that way. I thought I'll let you figure it out for yourself, and you have. Oh, I'm quite proud.
Thank you.
What have you been watching, Stu?
Oh, what haven't I? Well, it's Christmas season, so it's a Christmas film every day, at least once a day. But this week has been Elf, of course, as Elf on the 1st of December every year, or the first away game, which would have been Liverpool, but obviously not. But there was another one that's a bit more intriguing. It's called Over Christmas. It's called on Netflix. It's a 3-part German. Like a kind of, they did them mini series that ITV do. They're like 3 parts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
But it's It's like a German. Let's say dark comedy in a way. So it's obviously dubbed and it's in subtitles as well. But I didn't know it was German at first. I just thought, oh, Christmas, I'll put it on. Series, different. And I put it on and I thought, it's not the lips are not synced. Can't be doing this. And then I thought they said Klaus, and I thought, it's fucking German, this is. So I went into the settings, turned it off, put it onto subtitles. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. It's only 3 parts, 45 minutes each. But it was really heartfelt and actually quite funny in parts as well. That you can't, I know it's a stereotype, the Germans can't laugh at themselves, but it was really good. I was really surprised. I was really impressed with it. And then there's another one now as well that I'm watching. That's a Norwegian one. So a Norwegian miniseries that's actually got was out last year, but it's got a second one this year. And to the same thing, dropped it down in the subtitles. Thoroughly enjoying it. It's a new avenue for me.
I sometimes struggle with subtitled comedies. I don't know why, if it's to do with the timing of the gag or the pacing of the way people deliver lines. I'm great when watching horror or whatever that's subtitled. But if it's comedy, it never quite sits right with me. So I'm quite intrigued by this. Now you've said that you found it quite funny.
Yeah, I mean, how it pops up, it does land with the delivery of when they say it in that way. So
Okay.
you don't get like the whole like 3 sentences worth. You get enough to read and then replaced. So you don't get a lot. So maybe that's how it does work. But yeah, I mean, I was really surprised and really impressed with it.
Intriguing. Because I know there was a podcast that I listened and it was about the rise of Netflix and what have you. And it was how much money that they have spent on getting the dubbing right on films so that they don't, so it's not like obviously visible that it's dubbed, so the movements of the mouth is similar to what is actually being read. It's quite fascinating actually, like the depth that they went to make sure that it isn't an issue for some people, because that always bothered me watching dubbed films. I'd much rather watch the subtitled version.
Yeah, because
But yeah, over Christmas was that, Stu?
over Christmas, yeah.
Cool, that's on the list.
I mean, that's what's kind of put me off watching Dark for so long, because that's German as well, ain't it? And I just can't do it. I've never been able to watch dubbed things. And even when I had when I bought a soundbar for the first time, and you can change it by the millisecond because of different inputs. And when I turned the telly on the first thing in the morning, and I knew I was going to be watching the film at night, I'd sit there for a good 5 minutes and mess with it to get it absolutely spot on, because it really pisses me off. And I thought,
I'm the same.
I just can't do it. So now I've watched it. I mean, it's one of them, because it's subtitles. Maybe that's. I know this is going to be a question, but whatever. Because it is subtitles, that it is, you have to concentrate on it. You can't be on your phone, and you will miss things if you kind of take your eyes off the screen. So maybe I was more engrossed for that reason. But yeah, I can't recommend it highly enough. Go and check it out.
Oh, cool. So for myself, as Matt's already said, there's a deadline to Fresh Prince. So I've been ploughing through like literally all day Sunday up until the match kicked off. I just watched like 20 odd episodes of the Fresh Prince. Like, it's great, but I wish I had a little bit more time to just sit and digest it. I also watched a series called Man Down, Greg Davies, who I absolutely love. That's been added to Netflix. First season's got Rick Mail in. I miss Rick Mail so much, and it's wonderful.
How did you miss this?
Oh, I've seen it several times already,
I was gonna say.
but it's just been added to Netflix, so I've watched it for like the 4th time. I just love it. I also watched a film called His House, which has recently been added to Netflix, and it is about a couple who recently emigrated, or they're they are immigrants into the UK from South Sudan. They escaped to a war-torn country, and Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor, is in it. He plays a housing tenant, or he moves these people into this house basically, and it is about them dealing with their history and their past, and they are still living with their ghosts, literally ghosts in some instances. It's really evocative. It's deep. It's eerie in parts. It's not outright terrifying. It does make you think, and it does hurt a little bit when they get to certain parts. It's wonderfully done, really well acted. Thoroughly recommend it. It's called His House. It's been added in the last couple of weeks to the Netflix. So that's been the only film that I've watched recently. So the first question up this week is yours, Stuart.
Yeah, and it's kind of been hinted at already, but there's Christmas films and there's non-Christmas films, as we've already said, and Die Hard being the obvious case of non-Christmas film. So taking that away, what's your favourite non-Christmas film, Matthew?
Well, this is a really hard question, this, because I count it as a Christmas film, but the overwhelming majority of people I speak to do not. Therefore, I'm going with the majority here, so I can answer this question really. But it's got to be Gremlins. It's got to be Gremlins for me. And it is a Christmas film as far as I'm concerned because it's that he buys a Christmas tree for fuck's sake, and I'm pretty sure Gizmo wears a Christmas hat. But still, it's because it falls into the genre, I guess, of comedy horror in parts. And Gremlins 2, like the new batch or a new batch, that is on my Christmas playlist, which very much isn't a Christmas film. That falls in as a duo for me. I can't watch one without the other. And it's one of those rare films actually that I think is equally as good as the first as well. I do really like really like the second one. It's got all the warm fuzzy feelings of Christmasness with the horror and gore and blood and guts and all of that good stuff of a horror film, and that's what for me makes it. I'm really not about this Christmas life in terms of like I'm not all singing or dancing, carol singing. Like it took a lot for my manager to get me up and doing decorations around the office because it's just not my bag. But Gremlins for me is one of that. It gets me in the spirit, like in a really weird way because it's just I know that I think it's a routine thing, isn't it? A lot of Christmas, like you look forward to doing the third way when you put the tree up. That kickstarts Christmas off. The German market will not this year, as we was discussing pre-pod. And Gremlins is that for me. Like I know that like the ball's rolling in terms of Christmas. So yeah, Gremlins for me, non-Christmas film that actually is a Christmas film, but people don't think it's a Christmas film.
I know you could even say with Gremlins, you could put the theme tune in with a Christmas mega mix, and it'll work perfectly.
Yeah, it would. It actually would.
Absolutely. Yeah. My answer, I've obviously got my honourable mentions, but the one that I was going to go with, Just Friends. Either of you seen that?
Jennifer Aniston.
Okay, this is going back to when it was unfashionable to like Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds and Amy Smart play old school friends. Ryan Reynolds was fat in school, so she never saw him as the stud that he is. And it's all about their relationship as they meet back up later in life. Ryan Reynolds has moved on and become a success and the handsome dude that Ryan Reynolds is. He then has to come back to his hometown. He sees Amy Smart again, and it's all about their relationship. It's a really fun, really sweet movie that kind of got lost to the sands of time. I couldn't remember the last time I heard anyone even mention this film. But it's worth seeing just for the scene where Ryan Reynolds is wearing a fat suit singing All for One, I swear. That scene is fucking marvellous. So that was mine. Like I say, really lovely, warm feel to it. Great film. And it's a comedy, romantic, that just happens to be set at Christmas. It could have been any time of the year, really, but Christmas was the premise that just brought him back home.
Yeah.
Really good film.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like you, I haven't. Now I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen that for a long, long time. I think that's definitely, especially now it's this time of year. It's definitely been added to the list, and that's going on this week now. I mean, mine. I'm absolutely shocked that you never said it when Batman Returns.
Not a big fan.
Oh.
I hate Tim Burton.
Oh no! Come on now.
It's Tim Burton though, isn't it? Like it's one of his better ones, granted. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, I jumped in there.
Yeah, I mean it's on the Christmas film playlist every year. Not all of them are. I mean, Home Alone is, and obviously Die Hard isn't. But yeah, with Gremlins and this, it's all every year without fail. Batman Returns, and the other one that we've already mentioned more than enough is Lethal Weapon, because I do like it is very much. I mean, there's Christmas songs in the background, there's trees, there is everything there, even though it's obviously in a sunny climate, so it feels a bit different. But the fact that it's Christmas and he's on his own and he's a bit of a mess, it would work in a different time of year, but it works best because it is Christmas. So that's what and obviously, like Matt tried to say, with Die Hard 2, but no.
Well, my issue, Stu, with Batman Returns is no Christmas film should ever give me an erection. And sadly, 5 forgives me. so that's not Christmas. That's not very Christmassy, is it? You know,
You've never seen Krampus?
So my honourable mentions for this one: Black Christmas, the original, because the sequel is absolute dog shit, and the remake's even worse. Have you seen the original with Margot Kidder?
No.
Years and
From the
years ago.
70s.
Yeah, I mean, I watched.
Fantastic.
I watched I watched that because she was in it. I think when I was probably. It might be one of them ones. It was in the HMV bargain bookie, and that
Yeah,
got
probably.
it from there around about Christmas time. So, but that's why I watched the remake and then think, oh, why do I do this to myself?
Shocking, in it, the remake. But yeah, the original, fantastic. It's one of the best horror films and one of the best Christmas films. It's great. Little Women, that was released this year. I just love that film. The Apartment, Billy Wilder's classic. Love that film. It doesn't get enough love, I don't think. And obviously it's set around Christmas. A bachelor who is trying to help a woman who maybe doesn't deserve his help, but he still does because he's a good guy, and they fall in love, and it just makes you feel all warm and happy. And Mean Girls. I know there's only one scene set at Christmas, but it's Mean Girls, and on Wednesdays we wear pink.
My cousin actually puts that every single week without fail. She dresses her daughter. So what's that? My second cousin. Is that how it works? I can't remember. Well,
I don't know.
My cousin's daughter, anyway, every single Wednesday, without fail, she always dresses her in pink and always puts hashtag on Wednesdays we wear pink. Shout out Kim.
Is that your cousin I've met?
No, this is Kim.
Ah.
She lives in Edinburgh, so no.
Oh, okay. Right, fair enough. I like the sound of her. Have either of you got any more honourable mentions?
In terms of kind of Christmas
Christmas, non-Christmas.
the kind of films I'm talking about fall into your question, Andy.
Oh, okay, right. So let's segue onto that one. So you've just had your 3 courses of food. You just want to slob around, stick something on the TV. So it's post-lunch, Christmas Day. What are you watching? Matt, kick us off.
Now, I need to set the scene here because, well, the first question for me, and it's one that I'll pose to our partners in a daft question: when do you have presents? I ask you, when do you have your presents?
Christmas Day.
Not Christmas Day, obviously, but pre-dinner or
Although
post-dinner.
that's not obvious because after watching this German thing and another one, the Norwegian one that I've been watching, they do it on Christmas Eve, so it's not that obvious.
Well, that's nonsense. No wonder they lost the war. But is it pre-dinner or post-dinner you have your presents?
Pre-dinner, first thing in the morning.
Correct answer, Stu.
Yeah, as soon as you get up.
Exactly. So, by the time dinner's rolled around, Christmas is over for me. It's done. So when my knife and fork go down, and I've popped we've done the last cracker, and I've had that's it. Christmas is over then, because I'd say the last 5 years I've worked 4 of them. I've been at work for 4 of them, and I'm at work this year as well, on Christmas Day. So once it's usually like a mad scramble to eat, and then Christmas is over. So with that token, it's never usually like a Christmas film or anything like that. It's Christmas post-Christmas dinner is Bond, as far as I'm concerned. There's always like a really old Bond as well, like a Roger Moore or something like that, because it's like the father-in-law, he loves Bond, and I think for many, many years that was the exclusive, like the premiere film was a Bond film on like Christmas Day evening. So I'll probably get a Bond film on. I'll probably watch GoldenEye purely out of nostalgia. If I wasn't feeling Bond, I'd probably watch Jumanji as well. Completely off like kilter. But I think like when all that food's going down and you're falling to sleep, you don't need something that you've got to think about, and you need something that you've seen a million times before, so you don't worry about missing it as you slowly drift off into a food coma. But I'll have the sweet sounds of my workplace this Christmas Eve, so send me your well wishes on Twitter so I can read them.
To be fair, Jumanji, that could quite easily answer Stu's question. I know it doesn't have a Christmas link to it, but it does have that warm, glowy family, everything's all right sort of feel to it.
Mm.
And it's got Robin Williams in, which always makes me smile to see him in stuff.
Mhm.
So that could have answered Stu's as well, to be honest. I like that one. Stu, what are you watching on Christmas Day post food?
I mean, this is taking liberties by going to the past because post food I normally fall asleep. But it's been one of them where the last few years it's been post dinner. It's playing with the new toys because obviously, I think kids you don't get a chance to do that for yourself before all their fucking Play-Dohs all put together with the stickers and everything. And so that's what it's been for the last few years. But before that, in normal times, it was always the Great Escape. I know it's a cliche. 'Cause I think it was probably on OTV like twice in its entire life, but it turned into a thing that either the Great Escape or Doctor No was on Christmas Day. It's probably a Morecambe Wise thing more than likely, but yeah, I always love that film. It's great, but again, the Bond thing is the backup, and it's always something. I don't know why, because of me being Christmas, but I never watch a Christmas film after Christmas Day ever. It is like Christmas films end on Christmas Eve. Never watch any past then. So obviously all the decorations and stuff stay up till about 2nd, 3rd of December, January, whatever. But once presents are open and dinner's done, it's the same thing. Christmas as a Christmassy thing is gone. I don't do it anymore, so that's probably why I always have, when I watch films afterwards, watch things like that and things like films like Stuart Little and stuff like that. That's all on the BBC One, put on at 4:00 in the afternoon, because it's something like Matt says. It's something where you're too full and you're too pissed already to even concentrate when you've been drinking the John Smiths from 10 in the morning, which I only drink at Christmas time at home. It's pretty out there. So it's a weird one, but yeah, Christmas is over by Christmas dinner, so it's always a feel good film or something I've seen a lot of. So yeah, great escape more than any else.
My answers follow suit. Really, it's not a Christmas film; it's just an easy to watch film for the whole family. So, like weirdly, the film that I was going to recommend initially, BBC One are showing on Christmas Eve. But it's the perfect 5:00 out on Christmas Day, and it's Paddington 2.
Oh.
That is one of the best films I have ever seen. It is amazing. But I'm not going to do that one because that's already out there for the world to see. The one that I was going to say, School of Rock.
Okay.
Like, it's such an easy watch.
Yep.
Like, it's fun, it's nice, it's something that even your granny can watch and they won't be offended by it because there's no swears or anything. It's just a real good all-round film. And it's also got like a proper toe tapper of a song that ends it all as well. I think it's fantastic.
I think we're missing a trick here. We have got to recommend the best film of the year for Christmas Day.
Tenet.
The other best film of the year, Hamilton.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If we make Hamilton,
I haven't watched that for a bit.
Hamilton a post-Christmas dinner film from now on. What a glorious time to be alive.
It's 3 hours though. I mean, it's a long old sit through post dinner. You might nod off, but yeah, that's fucking great.
Exactly, but it doesn't matter because you wake up and you were singing along.
True, that is very true. The other film that I thought about, which I don't know if either of you two have seen, they're called Sing Street.
No.
Okay, so it's Irish director. It's set in Ireland, and it's about this kid who goes to a new school, and he has to put up with trying to form a new band, and it's a bit. He's trying to acclimate himself with new people, basically, and in this band, he starts doing all these new songs that get put into the soundtrack of the film. So it's kind of like a musical, but also the music's real in it. He's dealing with going to this Catholic school. It's a really good movie. Sing Straight it's one of the best films I saw. I think it was 2016 when it was released. Definitely recommend that one. It's kind of like School of Rock if School of Rock was set in the UK, I think.
I thought you were going like the other way with it, and like it was going to be set during the Troubles. And it was like it was like a gritty post, you know.
Well, then it ends with you two singing "Beautiful Day."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So the final question, that's yours, Matt.
It's quite simply. Now, I'm not saying the best. I don't want to know the best. I want to know your favourite performance by an actor as Santa Claus. Andy.
Now, this is probably going to come as no surprise to either of you two. Spoiler alert, and if there are kids listening, you might want to just mute it. Santa Claus doesn't exist. So the best Santa is Billy Bob Thornton
fuck's
as
sake.
bad Santa. Because really, like, he's working at Christmas. He's going to be a miserable bastard. That is exactly what it should be. Billy Bob Thornton. And that is a hell of a movie as well. That first one is fantastic. I can't remember the name of the kid. Thurman Merman, is it the kid? He's fucking superb. It's a really good, funny movie. Billy Bob Thornton plays this absolute scumbag arsehole. And he's just perfect in it. So he's my Santa Claus.
Fuck me, Santa. Fuck me, Santa. Fuck me, Santa. I've seen
Stu,
incredible scenes.
were you either outraged at the inflammatory comments about a Santa, or was he your pick as well?
Well, both. But yeah, I did have Billy Bob Thornton, aka Fuck Me Santa, as the answer. But obviously the proper answer is what's his name? Got completely out of my head. Dickie A in Miracle on 34th Street. Spot on.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Brilliant performance all round. So that's all you can say about it. I mean, obviously, the third one is Tim Allen, just because that 2.5 films of the three of the Santa Claus movies are great. They're great, fun nonsense, which you expect them to be, and he completely hams it up in all of them. But yeah, Billy Bob would have been my answer.
Well, mine was Richard Attenborough as well, because, and I've gone the completely other way to Andy here, which is surprising because I very much have the same thoughts on Christmas as he does. But I think he is kind of the quintessential Santa, like the kind, sweet, looks like it. Like, even as his portrayal as Kris Kringle, he's Santa. He just is. He just is Santa. Like, there's no two ways about it. But I think in years to come, Kurt Russell in the Christmas Chronicles will take that mantle for people nowadays.
That was my backup.
because I think like he's got the look and he's got the fun, mischievous side of it as well. That's really, really. I think that will be the current generation's go-to Santa in like 10 years' time, 15 years' time. Whoever played, or I suppose it's not played really because it's an animated, but like the Santa in Klaus was really, really excellent. That film in general is just wonderful. Like that, I think that will probably be our go-to film if me and Sam will watch together. I mean, it made her cry. And I mean, should a Christmas film make you cry? I don't know if it should, but
you know who it is. It's J.K. Simmons.
Is it?
Oh wow,
it's Klaus. Yeah,
just didn't believe that. But it's it's excellent. But as I say, for me personally, it's Richard Attenborough. In years gone by, it will be, in years to come, it'll be Kurt Russell because I think he does a really good job.
Yeah, I'd got him as my backup in case someone else went with Billy Bob before me. He's not the traditional Santa Claus, but there is just something so appealing about it. It feels very fresh. It feels very modern. It like you say, it feels like it's going to be this generation's, go-to Santa Claus. And I haven't watched this second one yet, but I really enjoyed the first Christmas Chronicles. It was brilliant. Really good movie. Have you seen the sequel yet, Stu? No,
I'm saving it. I think I'm going to save it for the last week before Christmas, or Christmas week itself. Just for that reason. I'm going to watch the original again, just because it was one of them that we watched the Netflix Christmas films for a couple of years, and then that just came out of the blue, and it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Because generally, the Netflix Christmas films they're a bit shit. Let's be honest. They're fun, but they're not good movies as such. But that one was a proper rip roar. I really enjoyed it.
I've got a bonus question, as I like to throw these in every now and then.
Yeah.
It's not really film related, so excuse me. However, back in the day, and I'm talking, it's got to be, how old am I now? 31. So it's got to have been about 15 years ago. It was like the 28th of December, and my nan was like there, and we'd got like a Domino's or a pizza delivered. And when the guy delivered it, he said, "Merry Christmas." This is the 28th. So my question to you is, when does it stop being acceptable to be festive at Christmas? When does this all stop?
I think I've kind of answered that by my Christmas dinner thing, because for me, it's Christmas is over by Christmas. As soon as the presents and the dinner's done, Christmas is over. But then you have Boxing Day match. You still have Christmas hat on.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, true.
Never used to, but everyone still does it now. Everyone does it now, so fuck it, why not? But then after that, then you got the like the the abyss season between then and New Year, which is just a nonsense because no one knows what they're supposed to be doing. No one knows what day it is.
Mhm.
It's true.
But you've still got your decorations up. You've still got loads of booze in the fridge. Well, you might have. Probably not this year. So for me, it's the second. Festivities end on the second. But being Christmassy, and Christmas film, Christmas jumpers and all that stuff, Boxing Day, gone.
Done. Andy, any advance on that?
That's fair, really. As a kid, we used to leave the decorations up till like about I think it was like the Sunday before I'd go back to school. So like the 5th, 6th, 7th of January. But Christmas always felt done by the time you'd opened your presents, really. The rest of the day was just a formality you had to get through to then sit down and play with your presents, So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be wearing a Santa hat at any point of the year, let alone like after Christmas Day. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I think Christmas Day is the end of it. Post lunch, the rest of it is just about making it through to bedtime. Let's be honest. At this age, you just
Is that just
you're
every
tired,
day?
you want to get to bed.
I tell you what, I remember a couple of Christmases ago. So my wife gets really annoyed because I've stolen her dad essentially on Christmas Day because he used to take her to the pub, and now he takes me, and like she doesn't go. And I remember one year I went with him, and like he drinks like it's out of fashion, like he can sink pints like so easily. So we're at the working men's pub. I'm trying to go toe for toe with him. Big mistake. And like all of the family there, she's got a really like big extended family. And I'm pounding like John Smiths or ales and stuff like that. I get back and I know that I'm pissed. Like I know that I'm drunk, and I keep like excusing myself at the table to go upstairs to just like splash water on my face to try and like stay conscious. And I'm at dinner, I'm slurring, and it was just awful. That was like that is not like Christmas shouldn't be. As I mentioned earlier, Christmas shouldn't be about erections or falling asleep in your plate at dinner time. And it was awful. So, in terms of like when Christmas ends for me, it's just let's get the dinner out of the way. Let's sit down, open up a massive box of Twiglets, watch a film, and then Boxing Day is usually back to a bit of normalities. Are you guys like ones for sales, getting out in the sales straight away? Boxing Day, spending any money you've had in cards or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. I used to work at Maryhill Shopping Centre. So, like, I would have to work on Boxing Day, which was bad enough. And I used to work at JJB Sports, and we had one which was right next door to Next, which obviously used to open up at ridiculous o'clock for the next sale. So I used to rock up for my shift, and there'd just be these fucking idiots queuing up. Like I'm in there at like I don't know 8 o'clock for a 9 o'clock open or whatever, and there was a queue of hundreds of people queuing up. I could think of nothing worse than spending my leave, because let's be honest, most people are going to either be on leave or you know, a day off work or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to go and queue to shop, for crying out loud?
Oh, I know exactly. I know what you mean.
That's
No,
ridiculous.
For them people, though, I mean, they'd probably think the same of me because 9 of the last 10 years on Boxing Day, I would have, say, 11 o'clock in the morning, I would either be in the Emerald Club or on a couch going somewhere. So, from their point of view, why would you get on Boxing Day and sit on a couch for 3 hours to go somewhere? It's different mentality, different strokes for different folks, eh? And for me, I could think of nothing worse than going to shop at the best of times. But, yeah, but again, I mean, this year it doesn't really matter so much. So, us having no football on Boxing Day. So, I mean, we can't go to the pub anyway. So, regardless, it makes no difference. But in a normal year, I'll be very, very pissed off at this situation playing on the 27th because Boxing Day would have mean I had to go outside. But yeah, it's one. I mean, I have done the pissed up Christmas Day once ever, and that was when we went to the I think we went to the Spread on Christmas Eve. Spread Eagle just down the road, and I think I went past my own house to go to a mate's house to drink more, and ended up rolling in round about I think it was R3 Christmas Day morning, and so I woke up at 11. I'd missed everything. Missed everyone opening the presents. Was stumbling around, complete day ruined. I thought I can't go out on Christmas Eve again. Or if I do, I'm gonna have to be home by 8. Can't do this again.
Jeez.
I've been to Planet, and it's ended at like 4 a.m. on the 25th. and then so I've woke up with a stonking hangover at like 11 o'clock. Got to be ready for dinner for 2, and felt awful. Yeah, and I thought I can't do this again.
Yeah, I remember once. Do you know JB's used to be in Dudley? Yeah, like a dirty rock club back in the day.
The best kind.
Oh yeah, it was great. But yeah, got back at like I don't know, ridiculous like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever it was. Got up, opened presents, and I'm like, oh, I'm still really tired, Mum. I need to go back to bed. So I thought, well, I'll go up, I'll put on a DVD. I got myself some Ribena, a swig of Ribena, and then I just had to run into the bathroom. I was just sick everywhere. And it was just like painted with fucking purple from the Ribena. It was not pleasant. I was in an absolute state. And ever since then, I've been sort of like, I've gone out on Christmas Eve, but never to the extent that I'm going to be ruining Christmas Day.
Well,
it just can't be done.
Based on like when the pubs open and the rock bars, this could very well be my last Christmas for how pissed I'm going to get when it all opens up again. Because I just can't. I cannot wait. Like I've got it like in my. It won't end up like it, but it like the perfect night is going to be a bit of wrestling, go to the Gifford, go to Planet, get smashed, get a pizza on the way home, and it's going to be sensational.
That was the night we had
without you,
like the last night out we were allowed to have.
I couldn't believe. I was thinking about this the other day.
13th of March.
Yeah, it was like if I'd have known that was the last night as well, I definitely would have stayed till like the last song, like till the lights go up at Planet kind of scenario.
I didn't get back till 4 a.m. though that morning.
Yeah, it was.
It was late considering we said at like midnight. Oh, we'll just have one more and then we'll go.
But even the one before they messed everything up even worse. When there was me and you, and when Matt was told he couldn't come out to play. I mean, we didn't. I didn't get on.
How was we out till 2 a.m. that night?
It was 2 a.m. I got in the house at 4:10. We didn't get kicked out the Gifford till R3.
Oh God. Yeah, that was a night. My extra question then, as we're on this tact. So, what's the first song you put on when it's December 1st? What's the first one you think? Right, this Christmas, this is my song that I have to hear.
Slade.
Matt, where do you go?
Slade. It's got to be Slade. That's my favourite Christmas song. It's the only Christmas song I want to hear, apart from maybe the Dawn by the Darkness.
That's
don't let the bells end.
Yeah,
it's a corker.
Yeah. Incredibly underrated that one is. I mean, they knew exactly what they were doing with that. It's very much if that had come out in the 70s, it would have been a proper classic.
It's been huge, yeah.
Stu, what are you putting on?
You say the first, but I've been in Christmas mode since the middle of November, and the first one, The first one I played on the actual first was Mariah Carey.
Oh,
Right.
Stuart.
But
That's terrible. You're such a basic bitch, Stu.
I know, no, you wait. But the first one, when I was putting my my actual decorations up mid-November, I'm just trying to find the name of it, because it was one that I hadn't actually heard until it was either last year or the year before, and obviously who it's by it makes it a bit difficult, and it's not Gary Glitter before you think that way. Although that is a banger, and it's unfortunate what he did, but it's
Unfortunate.
it's Justin Bieber, Mistletoe, and you go and listen to that song, and it gets in your head, and it's a proper earworm.
Oh, dearie me. I'm going to keep my eye on you, Stu.
Yeah. Well, weirdly, the first song that I will put on actually chimes in with the film we are watching next week. So obviously we're going to have a break from Cage over Christmas because he hasn't really done much in the way of Christmas. And we're going to be watching Last Christmas.
Yes.
And that would be the song that I would put on because it is a fucking belter. So yeah, anyone who's listening, make sure that you watch Last Christmas before next week's episode. It's something. That's all I'll say.
I mean, this is for. I mean, I think we have mentioned it before that for full disclosure, me and Andy went as two straight men to watch this last year in the cinema, and it was just full of couples.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it, especially like the twist part, hearing the old biddies behind us. Well, we'll get to it anyway, but yeah, the twist when the old biddies behind figured it out like about 3/4 of the way through the film, and I just wanted to scream at them like it was obvious from the very beginning what the twist was.
I didn't, did I?
Got me really angry.
I didn't at all.
Stu, have you got any additional Christmas questions you want to throw out there?
Until Christmas forever. I'm just because I'm talking about the sausage roll situation before, and the sausage rolls and the peanuts and things. Watching Christmas films, I'm just trying to think: how is it ever acceptable for it to be not turkey? It's just not, is it? Because it's not turkey is Christmas.
See, I'm the complete other way. I'd much rather have a chicken than a turkey.
But you have chicken anyway. You have chicken.
No.
You chicken all year round.
There's a reason why, because it's so good. It's so good. You should have it all year round. With turkey, it's just. We have it because society dictates that we have to have a turkey. Whereas actually, it's nowhere near as nice as a chicken. So break free, break the shackles of societal norms, Stu.
Turkey and cranberry is better than chicken on its own.
Anybody who eats chicken on their own? That's like.
To be fair, I love turkey. I'm always Stu on this. Turkey is the best thing about it.
Yeah, and you always buy it too big, so then you can have turkey curry on Boxing Day.
Yes.
Curry.
And
oh
after a match, when the chippy A opens, so I can't have a kebab. Turkey curry after a game is superb.
Well, we have we always have some like an exotic meat as an accompaniment with our Christmas dinner. So last year I think it was venison, and the year before that it was duck, which doesn't sound exotic, but it's not very Christmassy. I don't think. Well, I suppose it is actually orange duck l'orange, maybe. So I don't know what this year's will be. It could be anything. Well, mind you, with Brexit Britain and the way that things are going like with export, it might just be like squirrel. Or something that like we have to get here.
Yeah.
But
or a small child.
I was
exactly.
literally going to say you're going to be eating squirrel things. It just sounds like the menu from I'm a Celebrity this year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, for me, I can do without turkey, to be fair. If someone put chicken in front of me, I'm more than happy.
No. I tell you what, underrated meal, Boxing Day. Turkey chips and gravy. Every time. I love it. Especially like the frozen chips as well, like just cheap chips.
Cheap and horrible.
Yeah, cheap, horrible. Get some stuffing on there as well. Slam some gravy on the top. Job's a good one.
Boxing Day is about buffet for me. Boxing Day is a buffet thing. Like all of the food that you want to get rid of, because by the time the 27th rolls around, you're thinking, God, I feel fat. I can't wait to start eating healthy again. So you just kind of plough through everything that you've got left, and that becomes the Boxing Day buffet.
I mean, we used to always do that at Mum's Boxing Day buffet. She used to have everyone round,
Yeah.
sandwiches and stuff, and you ended up, if you managed to get to match of the day at 10:30, you've done well because you've already been at the match, you've already come back, you've already had a turkey curry, and then you're having buffet food at like 7, 8 at night, on top of more drinking, and you got the leftover of the Quality Street, which no one likes because you've lost the slip and you don't know what the flavours are anymore. So even though you have the same bollocks every year, you never remember what the purple or the green ones are, and so it's always a free for all, and they inevitably just end up in the bin because they're all horrible. But yeah, Boxing Day buffets used to be a thing. They used to be great.
What selection box are you having for Christmas? I think the Terry's Chocolate Orange is an underrated selection box.
Ooh.
It's lovely.
I'm all about the celebrations because I don't like the majority of what's in a box of heroes, apart from the chocolate eclairs. And Quality Street can suck its mum, as far as I'm concerned.
The problem with celebrations, though, it's fucking bounties are disgusting.
Oh, bounties are amazing. Bounties are
They're
sensational.
the worst thing in the world.
I tell you what,
anything with coconut is just fucking AIDS. It's disgraceful.
Anything. I tell you what, we'll do an amnesty, a Christmas amnesty. If you get celebrations, save all your bounties. And if you find what can you have? Like the Maltese, you can have my Maltesers if you want them.
Oh, the Maltesers is king.
So we'll do a swap. We'll do an amnesty.
Yeah, sound awesome. Stu, where are you going?
I mean, my dad always buys me a selection. I've never bought my own selection box, obviously. My dad always gets me one, and it's always Cadbury's because it's better. So you've always got to. I mean, I don't think I ever eat a Curly Wurly any other time of year. To be fair, so it's pretty much always a Cadbury's one. I mean, I can't think of any other time because you always get the Freddos in the Freddo selection. When I used to have a Freddo before every game as well in the Emerald Club until they went up to 25p each.
Scandalous.
Which is a bit excessive for what they are, but yeah, it's always been Cadbury's Dairy Milk selection box, but that was another thing, advent calendars as well, because I refuse to have an advent calendar that's not Kinnerton chocolate. You know, even though it's shit, it tastes of Christmas.
Yeah. I love cheap, shitty chocolate at Christmas. Just in the advent calendars, I'd rather have that in the Cadbury's. I don't know why.
Yeah, and
it's just that association. You're right.
And the soldiers and the chocolate Santas and stuff that you get, that it's all cheap chocolate. It just tastes of Christmas.
You are right, absolutely. Lovely. So I think we're done for our question cast at Christmas. Thank you very much for joining us. Stu, for this week, would you like to say goodbye?
God bless us, everyone.
Matt, would you like to say goodbye?
Take it easy, guys. Look after yourself and have a good time. Have a pandemic Christmas, but I'm sure we'll all make the most of it and have a great time and get the drinks down. Yeah.
It's goodbye from me. Obviously, we're going to be watching Last Christmas next week, so make sure you've seen it. Just be excellent to everyone. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas!
Fuck me, Santa. Fuck me, Santa. Fuck me, Santa.